So Facebook told us that creative like video or image has 56% impact on the performance of the ad. So like pretty much we are currently not even testing ad copies, not even testing headlines, description, stuff like that. So it's mostly creative and landing page. So products that are self-explanatory, like shoes, shirts, any apparel, jewelry, you can sell with an image because you either like it or not. But when you have a product that requires education, that requires product demonstration, how it actually works, then it's always way better to do it with a video.
Welcome to the Ecommerce Marketing Podcast, the highly rated digital marketing podcast that provides weekly digital marketing tips and strategies from some of the world's top digital marketers and e-commerce entrepreneurs that will help you take your digital marketing to the next level. Sit back and enjoy this power-packed episode hosted by Arlen Robinson, who is an e-commerce entrepreneur and digital marketing expert with over 20 years of experience. Hey, e-commerce marketing podcast listener. Are you looking to increase traffic and sales to your website? You can do this by launching your own affiliate program. Just visit getosi.com and sign up for a free trial today. That's getosi.com. Now get ready to hear from your e-commerce marketing expert of the week as they drill down to give you details on marketing strategies that can help grow your business.
Welcome back to the E-commerce Marketing Podcast, everyone. My name is Arlen, and I am your host. And today we have a very special guest, Marin Ištvanić. For the past 7 years, Marin has gone from freelancer to contractor to head of performance at Inspire Agency. He leads a boutique agency working with a handful of selected clients while providing service for paid social. Besides the agency, he's a partner at a few in-house brands that he's helped scale and exit. And in the last 12 months, he spent over $50 million on Facebook ads alone. And today he's going to share some of his go-to strategies and learnings, as well as some additional tips and tricks to help you do the same. Welcome to the podcast, Marin.
Thank you for having me, man. It's my pleasure to be here.
Yes, thank you for joining. I'm really excited to talk to you. Of course, we're talking about Facebook here, and particularly how to structure your Facebook ads for maximum efficiency. And definitely a hot topic today. Facebook is huge, bigger than ever, I think. And, as you can testify to that based on the amount of ad spend that you've had over the past 12 months with the different clients that you have. So that's a big number. But, before we dive deep into that, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into what you're doing today?
Yeah, sounds good. So I was on my senior year of college. I was studying computer science. And besides that, I was playing professionally, semi-professionally soccer in Croatia. You guys call it football. Sorry, okay. You guys call it soccer. We call it football.
Yes.
So I was like on a verge, like, okay, what should I do? Should I kind of like continue with computer science? It's not like I'm okay with it, but it's not really super interesting to me. Should I kind of like go into soccer 100%? And somehow I stumbled upon digital marketing. Like I didn't know what that is. So I started learning everything there is about it. I went through the like whole Google literature support. I like watched all the YouTube videos that I could find, blogs and stuff like that. Luckily, I had one friend that was doing Facebook ads, probably at that time, the only guy in Croatia that was doing Facebook ads. So I started learning with him, working with him. He was like giving me small tasks, can you find the audience, like upload this creative stuff like that. It was great for me because I had theoretical knowledge, but didn't want to spend my money just for the sake of learning. So it turned out to be amazing fit because I'm very detail oriented, great with numbers, can spot patterns, which is exactly what the media buyer should be. So I fell in love with it. I did not work a day in my computer science, although that's kind of like the most wanted job in Croatia at that time. So I started working with that friend of mine, soon started freelancing, connected with Matt from the Inspire Agency, who's the founder. So I went from like junior media buyer to mid to senior to head of performance, currently partner at the same agency. So basically my whole journey is tied to the Inspire. And yeah, as you mentioned, we're a boutique agency focused on paid social. That means we have like limited number of clients. We don't want to grow with more clients because we feel then the quality will water down. So basically, you get premium service. There's just three media buyers, all three seniors. Out of those three, two of them I trained. And then we also realized that like we can scale other people's brands. So like, why not start our own? So we launched a brand 2.5 years ago, and in our second year we hit 15 mil in revenue. On this year we are on track to do 35, something like that. So we are growing pretty rapidly. To be honest, a bit more than what we expected, but I cannot complain about that.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, that's quite a story, and that's a very interesting pivot, as you mentioned, going from college thinking about semi-pro soccer and almost kind of going that route, and then now running a boutique agency specializing in Facebook ads, and yeah, I'm always curious as to when people, especially when you were at your college age and you decided to kind of make that pivot um, into being an entrepreneur, did you have any going that direction aside from the friend that kind of let you kind of molded you under his wing as far as giving you different tasks? Was he kind of your premier, I guess you could say, mentor to kind of guide you into the business world?
Yeah, so it was not my plan to be entrepreneur. Like it was just like, okay, I'm doing fine with this ad account, so I'm just gonna like freelance. So because I like the freedom, I like freedom to work whenever I want, from wherever I
Right.
want.
Mm-hmm.
So like it just like I was going day by day, and like I was getting better at it, like I was getting results. So it just got to the point that like, okay, I can get clients, I can get paid for this, and I can actually make a lot of money from it, and I can work from wherever I want. So it was just like a natural decision. My mom obviously, like on the first year, was not satisfied. Hey, like you're quitting, you're not
Right.
working. So yeah, it was like a quite a
Mm-hmm.
discussion, but eventually it turned out to be amazing. Yeah, that friend of mine definitely helped at the start. uh, we kind of like parted our ways after 2 years, when I
Okay.
started working with Matt from this agency. But we are
Mm-hmm.
like still in contact. We do some projects together. So definitely he's the one that got me into this. If there was no him, I would probably not be in this world at all.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to ask you about your family and if you got any pushback. I'm always curious because people that when you go through college and typically your family, they support you through college, they expect you to just get a nice paying job, go through a career, usually older people in that generation, that's their mindset because that's kind of what they did. And especially if your parents weren't entrepreneurs themselves, they didn't have a business, they don't really kind of see it. They don't understand the whole business world and being what it takes to do it. And so, yeah, I was interested to see that, your mom had a little bit of pushback because most entrepreneurs, especially the parents, when you tell them, oh, okay, I'm about to jump and dive all in, because I got the same pushback as well from my parents when I started my business some 24 years ago. I had a nice paying salary position, and then I'm saying, okay, I'm gonna leave that and then take this huge risk and dive all in. And so they were like, wait a minute, are you serious? And
Yeah,
so yeah,
I
but
think it's like generational mentality. What you
it
said,
is.
like they had one job and like that's it. They don't want to risk it. They are like
Right.
satisfied that they have something. So it's like
Hmm.
totally different
Right.
when like we are doing some big projects.
Exactly. And the thing that I see these days, and I've seen so many commentaries about just the way our whole global economy is, it's it's just totally, things are totally different. You really can't survive almost on, it just depending on what you do and how much you're breaking in annually on a regular paying job. Even if you have dual income, if you're married and you have a spouse who's doing dual income, uh, work that job all the way through till retirement, retire, get a pension or some type of benefit, and then, be able to just kind of chill for the rest of your retirement. It's very difficult to do that these days. Most people don't, the way things are structured in our whole economy and the way our, especially with technology, they're not going to stay at a position for typically more than 5-10 years, maybe tops, and then they're on to the next position. So it's like you said, it's a generational thing where our parents' generation, they could do that, stay with a company 20, 30 years and retire comfortably
Yeah.
with a commission. I mean, excuse me, with um, a pension or something like that, and that sustains them until their whole retirement. But things are a little bit different. But as far as getting right into the conversation for today, Facebook ads, as I mentioned, Facebook is bigger than ever, and I think the main thing that I want to kind of deconstruct now is what would you say are some of the key elements of a well structured Facebook ad campaign? What are some must haves?
Yeah, so I'm a media buyer, but I always tell to my clients and whoever I talk to that like creative is what makes a big difference in the ad account. For me, media buying is like a just cherry on the top. Like it's something
Okay.
when you like, it's like a fuel on fire. When you have something that's working, you want to amplify it with your ads. So first thing, if you don't have a product market fit, it doesn't make sense to
Yeah.
run ads. If you have product market fit, then you need to figure out the offer. Once you figure out the offer, you need to write creatives, and then I can like take you to the next level with the proper ad account structure. So I would say like, yeah, I'm a media buyer, but like for me, ads are just like a cherry on the top. In terms of the ad account, like I can improve your results with the technical setup for like maybe 20-30%. But
Mhm.
actually, with proper creative, we can like double your revenue like in, I don't know, sometimes in a month.
Wow. So if we're trying to weight everything accordingly, how much weight, I guess percentage wise, would you put on the actual creative of the ad?
So Facebook told us that creative like video or image has
Yep.
56% impact on the performance of the ad.
Wow.
So like
Okay.
pretty much we are currently not even testing ad copies, not even testing headlines,
Hmm.
description, stuff like that. So it's mostly creative and landing page.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. That's more than half. So
Yeah,
56%. So you're saying the text, the copy, that kind of takes a back seat to just to
exactly.
all of those visuals. Now, if somebody, an e-commerce business is hearing this, they're saying, okay, I need to focus on the creatives, the visuals. When you're talking about visuals, then it comes the question of, all right, do I do video? Do I do just static graphic? I mean, what's appropriate, or does it, of course, vary?
Yeah, I think it depends on the product. So products that are self-explanatory, like shoes, shirts, any apparel, jewelry, you can sell with an image because
Okay.
you either like it or not. But when you have a product that requires education, that requires product demonstration, how it actually works, then it's always way better to do it with a video because you
Mhm.
need to identify them with a problem, like showcase unique mechanism of your product, compare it to inferior solution. So like that storytelling part is always easier with the video. As I said,
Yes.
with these products that are like commodity, images could work as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely see that. The storytelling aspect of it lends a lot better to the video. I mean, you can do some things with the imagery and then the textual content, but especially these days, though, with Facebook and Instagram Reels and all of these things, people are more apt to be compelled by a video that's telling a story. Because I'll give you an example. I recently saw a an ad for it's a new type of cologne. And I think the way the company was, it's a solid cologne where it's more like a oil or kind of like, I guess, a wax based type cologne. And so the company, what they were doing, and I mean, it was pretty obvious in this case that the person in the video was maybe not necessarily a customer per se, could have been an influencer that they paid to do it. But the whole thing was they had a whole story line where, you know, he put some of this on. He went into the car with his girlfriend, and then she started smelling this, and then just found him just irresistible immediately because of this. And so you have the whole story there, you have the visuals there, you have the product, like you said, something like that, especially a unique product. I think you're right. The visuals via video is going to be something essential because if it's something that nobody's really ever seen anymore, then in order to pull people in, I think that's just very important. It's what's your experience with that?
Yeah, so like like the story that you mentioned, I have one similar client that is selling like similar type of cologne that's like based on pheromones. So like you cannot sell that via an image because like you
Yes.
cannot describe that. But like what you do in that, what they did in that video, they're not selling cologne. They're selling a feeling,
Yes.
you being appealing to other women. So like
Hmm.
because every guy wants that. So like for example, we have a lot of success for my client that selling that like when we are appealing to the like people that are like singles, people that are going out, they are
Hmm.
seeking for girlfriend, people that are like I don't know gamers, you know, because like we found out that from our customer reviews that like a lot of people that buy products are gamers because like they
Right.
spend a lot of time, they're not going out, they don't have a girlfriend, so like okay, they want this product because they increases their chances of getting a girlfriend. So you're not selling a cologne, you're not selling a product, you're selling the end goal is actually having a girlfriend. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why we always try to look for that end goal that we can
Mm-hmm.
showcase in the ad, then because then your ad is like way more powerful. Same goes with the with problem. So all of the ads where we showcase the problem, we have better success than just
I see.
showcasing the product. So
Got it.
basically, do you have problem with plantar fasciitis? Do you have problem with neuropathy or ITB syndrome or something like that? Basically,
Mm-hmm.
you want that person who's watching the ad to think, hey, that's me. I have trouble like going up from the bed, like my feet hurts and stuff like that. So then we realize, okay, who are people that have problems? And for example, for the one client that is selling a solution to those feet problems, we find out that like restaurant workers, hairdressers, nurses are
Mm-hmm.
our customers because they're spending
Okay.
a lot of their time on their
Always on
feet.
their
So yeah,
on their feet.
I'm not selling a shoe. I'm selling, hey, go through your shift painless. So that's kind of
Yeah.
like, okay, that's me because I have
Mm-hmm.
this problem. So you want to kind of
Mm-hmm.
like switch it a bit
Mm-hmm.
and spice it up a bit so people can feel identified. So they like
Mm-hmm.
they think, hey, it's me and I need this product.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, video is definitely the best way to do it. So they can picture themselves, in that situation, having that same particular problem. Now, let's say the company has launched a Facebook ad campaign. They've pinned down some solid creative, whether it's video, whether it's just a graphical static ad, and they've come up with some fairly decent content, but their focus was really on the visual. Now it's the time where, okay, we got to determine the budget. What would you say is the best way to optimize an ad budget to ensure the best ROI for the campaign?
So most of my clients, they don't have a set budget. They say,
Okay.
hey, if you can hit my ROAS target, you can spend as much as you can. Because
Okay.
like let's say they know their targets, they know their margins. Some clients have targets of like one because let's say they're a supplement brand and they know when they acquire a customer, that
Mhm.
customers would buy like in the next 2-3 months. So they know like if their AOV is 100, in 4 months it would turn out to be 400. So like some
Mhm.
clients are willing to lose money in a front end because they're counting on that LTV. Obviously,
Mhm.
that's not the case for all of the niches. That's happening only in supplements and skincare. All the other brands usually care about being profitable on a front end, like on a first purchase.
Okay.
So how it goes that like we reverse engineer. Okay, what's your like cogs and like what profit do you want to take home after everything? Okay, then reverse engineer. Okay, what our contribution margin? Then what our target ROAS should be to actually you getting that, I don't know, 10-20% of each order home. So then we know if we can hit, let's say, ROS 2.5, the client takes home, I don't know, 20%. So then
Mhm.
client says, okay, if you can hit 2.5, spend as much as you can. And then if we can hit that 2.5, you obviously scale to actually get them higher
Mhm.
return. And as you go up with the scale, you can decrease your ROS target because
Mhm.
let's say you could spend 100K, get ROAS of 2.5 with a 20% margin. So
Mhm.
that would be like 50K. Or you can spend 500K with ROAS of 2, which is 1 mil, and 10% margin, which is 100K. So
Mhm.
basically, as you go up, your ROAS target can go down and you can still earn more money because
Mhm.
you spend more, you acquired more customers that would down the road buy more from you. But that's totally depending on the client and what's their business model and what's their target ROAS. I have some clients, as I said, that like break-even ROAS is 1.2. Then I have some clients that require 3.5. So it totally depends on their margin and how they're pricing up their product compared to what they're selling it.
Yeah, it makes sense. If they hit their goals, it's like, why stop? As long as if they keep consistently hit the goals, then it's like, you can just keep funneling money into it. As long as you're seeing that return, there's really kind of no win. So that makes sense. I understand. Then in that case, then kind of hard to set an upfront budget. You really have to see how it's going to perform and then determine, all right, do we keep going forward or do we scale back? I guess that's the big question. Now, with the companies that you deal with, and I guess we're talking about the results or the conversions from the different creatives, how would you say how important is A/B testing when you're trying to refine and improve an ad's performance overall?
So A/B testing is quite hard to do now these days on Facebook. You can do it, but to get statistical significance, you need to spend like a lot of money, and then that actually doesn't kind of like provide all the upside of that potential spend that you spent. So basically, what we want to do when we kind of like do the research to find out like why people are buying. We realize, okay, let's say we're selling something from skincare. We realize, okay, is it anti-acne or is it like anti-aging? Is it when let's say it's an anti-aging, we kind of like spread that in a multiple concepts. One is angle that like you want to get rid of your wrinkles. The other is that you want to get rid of your like cross-fades. And then for each one, we are kind of like targeting different angles or different type of the creative. Let's say unboxing, product demonstration, dermatology style video. And then for each of the creative, we have multiple variation. So let's say the girl can say for anti-acne, hey, this is the serum that I got rid of my wrinkles. The same video with a different hook can say, hey, I'm getting so many compliments that I'm looking younger. The third can be, hey, I'm 55, but people think that I'm 35. So like those are three different variations of the same video. So basically just first 3 seconds are different. First hook, that's called hook of the video. That's different. And the rest of the video is fine. And then we can see based on the performance, okay, this one where it says like, I'm 55, but I'm looking 35. That's one performing the best. So let's do more variation based on that. So I'm not necessarily split testing those. I'm letting Facebook choose which of the one would get best results. Obviously, Facebook pushes the budget like behind one variation. And in most cases, that's the variation that is going to get you the best results. And then we obviously see, okay, this is the winner. Let's make more variation of something that's working. Let's double down on this phrase and actually understand because obviously all people want to look younger. They don't want to get rid of their cross-fades. They want to look younger. So, okay, that's the angle that we want to go for. So in that terms, like I'm not actually doing proper A/B split testing. I'm letting Facebook pick the winner, and then I observe the data and I check, okay, whether the data is verifying why Facebook picked that one. Because sometimes it can happen that Facebook pick an ad that has a pretty good click-through rate or a great thumb-stop ratio. Because like you could have an amazing hook that says like, I'm 60, but I'm looking like I'm 25. So like you will get a lot of people click on that ad, but nobody would buy because it's super clickbaity and it's unrealistic. So then, okay, this doesn't make sense for us to do. Obviously, this is just like an extreme example that I pointed out. But yeah, we are letting Facebook pick the angle that we are going after, and we verify that by data, and then we are doubling down on the winners.
Okay. Yeah, so it seems like the key takeaway from what I heard you say, is that it's not necessarily A/B testing you're doing, but you're doing variations of really the same ad campaign, and you're just trying to target maybe, in that case of the skin serum, target people that have maybe a different need for the same exact product.
Exactly.
So it's a different
pocket
set
of the audience.
Yeah, exactly. Different bracket based on that feature set of it being able to resolve that issue. Okay, yeah, I see that makes sense, because I think you're right, and I've heard this before as far as A/B testing is concerned. In order to get if to really do an A/B split testing in order for the data to really, be any value to you, you have to have such a huge data set for it to really tell you anything. Otherwise, it's almost kind of a waste of time. I always hear two things with that. I hear some marketers saying, yeah, any brand can do it. Doesn't matter your data set. You'll at least be able to tell, which way to go. But it just really sounds like it just may not be effective for just a small, let's say a startup brand. They don't have too much, they don't have a large customer base. Their reach on Facebook is limited. It may just not tell them anything.
Yeah, we can do, let's say, split tests on the winners. So if I have, let's say, an image that has a text on one side and an image on the one other side, then I want to understand, okay, why this is a winner. So I would test the same text with 5 different images. Then I would test the same image with 5 different texts to understand, okay, which variation would get me actually more better results. If I realize that's the image, okay, let's make more images like this. Because if I have 2 elements, I don't know why this ad is working based on which element. So it makes sense to do iteration and dissecting the ad, but only once you have a winner. Because if you do it in a stage 0, you could get to the point that nothing you launch is working. So it's just from a cost perspective, it makes sense to do it only on the winners.
Yeah, I get that. Makes sense. So find that winner first, then do slight variations to see, all right, how you can almost, I guess, kind of double down on improving that winner by just doing some slight tweaks to it, and then just see which way you can go with it. Yeah, that's I really get that. As we get ready to wrap things up, what would you say from your experience dealing with Facebook and the clients that you've had? What would you say are some common mistakes that you see businesses make when just setting up Facebook ads in general?
Yeah, so there are a couple of those. One is people optimizing for traffic campaigns or add to cart, because they think, hey, if I run traffic campaigns, I would get cheaper clicks, I would get amazing click-through rate, and then I would just retarget them and they would end up buying. But Facebook is pretty good at giving you what you want. If you optimize for traffic and landing page use, you would just get people that would click, land on your website, and they would bounce back. If you optimize for add to cart, you would get people that would add to cart. Your add to cart would be cheaper, but they would never buy. It's super strange, but they're this subset of people that Facebook know are just people who add to cart and never buy. So definitely, if you're going for sales, you always need to optimize for purchase. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is that most of my clients care about acquiring new customers, because they don't want to spend any money to acquire someone who they already acquired. They can sell to these guys for free via emails. So basically, the mistake number 2 is that people do not exclude their existing list of buyers, and they're spending money to someone who already bought from them. That's mistake number 2. And let's say mistake number 3 is not using a post ID. So basically, every ad that you create has its unique identifier on which it accumulates the social proof. So if you use that ad in a different campaign and you do not use the post ID, that ad would start from scratch. So when you use the same ad, let's say in 5 different campaigns, you have in theory you have one ad, but it's starting from scratch 5 times. But if you use the post ID, when you transfer that ad into another campaign, it accumulates all the social proofs from all 5 campaigns. So basically, instead of having ad with 13 likes and 30 and 55 and 63, you could have one ad with 200 likes and 50 comments. That ad is way more powerful, both in user's eyes, in Facebook eyes, because Facebook sees, okay, this one is getting engagement, let's push it a bit. Users see, hey, this ad has 50 comments, check what's happening here. I'm not sure if you're using TikTok, but when you're scrolling, you're more inclined to stop by the video that has 2 million likes compared to the video that has 13 likes. That's kind of a fact of social proof. And that using that post ID ensures us that we accumulate the social proof on one variation that actually can boost your performance.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that post ID is what you're saying is if you use that across all of your different campaigns, it's going to give you a cumulative result of the clicks, the shares, the likes, and all of that. Okay. Yeah, I can see how that makes a difference, because otherwise, if you don't, it's like every campaign you put out there, every ad, it's like you're starting over again. People,
Exactly.
you know, like you said, yeah, when people are scrolling through things, they see, okay, you've got 0 likes, 0 comments. They're like, yeah, you know,
Yeah,
they just
exactly.
kind of glaze over it. This is not that important. This is maybe a, you know, startup company or whatever, and they just don't think too much about it. So yeah, very, very good advice. Very great lessons learned from, you know, your experience. Well, this has been an awesome conversation, Marin. I really appreciate you coming on. I've learned a ton. I hope our listeners and viewers have as well. Lastly, before we do let you go, I always like to switch gears just so our audience can get to know you a little bit better. If you don't mind sharing one closing fun fact about yourself that you think we'd be interested to know.
Fun fact about me. I don't know. I already shared that I played soccer. I played soccer for like 20 years, and that's still my passion. I still play with my friends
Okay.
every week, and I think it would be part of my life forever. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, that's good stuff. Yep, soccer. So you could have been a semi-pro soccer player, but decided to go another route. Do you ever look back and wonder, you know, when you're watching some of these matches and you see some of these top players, do you always, in the back of your mind, are you like, I wish I would have went that route, or do you have no regrets?
No, I don't have regrets, but I
Okay.
definitely have feelings that I could play there, like, because I see some players and like, okay, it could be me, but like
Yes.
I don't have regrets.
Gotcha. Yeah. I don't blame you. The thing with professional or even semi-pro sports, it's you have such a small window of
Exactly.
when you can, how long you can do it, and you know, once you're outside of that, unless you've lined up things like businesses and other ventures while you're playing to kind of, you know, capitalize on your prominence at that point, unless you set all that up, by the time once you get out and you have to retire, then yeah, it's a tough road. I know a lot of athletes here in the U.S., you know, that were pro, that once they're retired, then if they didn't have the proper, you know, advice, business advisors, then yeah, it's a tough journey, especially if they don't have any other skill sets. Yeah, that's the only thing about it. There's only a handful of people in a lot of these pro sports that are really the ones that are successful, you know, the rest of their lives. But so it's a tough journey.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the reason why I picked going this route.
Yep. I don't blame you. Well, thank you for sharing that, Marin. We really appreciate that. Lastly, before we do let you go, what's the best way for our listeners and viewers to get a hold of you if they want to pick your brain anymore about Facebook and all things, you know, Facebook ads?
Yeah, so probably Twitter. For the past 2 years, like on a daily basis, I'm sharing like tips and tricks like this
Okay.
on Facebook ads every day. So I pretty much respond to most of my comments, to most of my DMs, and like you can learn a lot both on my Twitter and recently I started with the YouTube. So those
Okay.
are probably two places where you can get a hold of me. And yeah, if you're an ecom brand looking to scale your Facebook ads and you need some guidance to take it to the next level, there's a place where you can find me.
Okay, that's awesome. We'll be sure to have the links not only to your website but also to your Twitter handles, your other social handles in the show notes, so people can get a hold of you from there. And yeah, we really appreciate you coming on the E-commerce Marketing Podcast.
Yeah, thank you, man, for having me. It was my pleasure.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the E-commerce Marketing Podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share it with everyone you know. Are you looking to take your digital marketing to the next level but are tired of weeding through countless YouTube videos with unproven and untrusted marketing strategies? Well, we have the answer for you. The More Sales Every Month online digital marketing course. In this information-packed course, you will learn effective keyword research, link building, content marketing, and much more to attract and convert your site visitors into paying customers. Just go to moresaleseverymonth.com and sign up today for a low one-time fee. In addition to this power-packed course, if you would like to get access to a growing repository of digital marketing articles, PDFs, and ebooks, check out getosi.com/resources and opt in to get full access to our library of priceless marketing information to help you take your digital marketing to the next level.